students will be talking about activities and services of information and library network called INFLIBLENT Center, situated in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. We have already covered two parts. In the part 1, we spoke about library automation, union catalog, SOLE software and other activities, related activities, including Vidwan database. In part 2, we talked about library consortium, which included UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, NLIST, Indus AICT Consortium. The three consortium combined together formed eShod Sindhu. So, we talked about all the consortium activity that is operated by INFLIBLENT Center. In this section, we will be talking about open access initiatives of the INFLIBLENT Center. Open access, as you know, the ideology is that scholarly literature should be available to the end user at no cost without any barrier. So, idea is that we should be talking about e-journals, e-books and other resources that are completely subscription free and available to people. The ideology is that when you write an article, a research article, generally speaking you do not get paid for it. You write it for free. A person who is an expert review that article completely free of cost, and the end user finally pays for it, which is something which is against the ideology of research and research sharing, resource sharing. With this ideology, open access initiatives were started. So, before talking about open initiatives, I will be touching upon what are the activities that INFLIBLENT has been doing in nutshell. So, to begin with, like I have covered in part 1, we have library automation and databases as one activity, where the universities were funded for automating their libraries, and the result of automation was bibliographic records that they created for the books and journals available in their library. This was contributed to the INFLIBLENT Center for forming or setting up of a union catalog of books. So, INFLIBLENT has a union catalog of books available in more than 165 universities across India, and that database is available to everyone for use. So, the database has books, the list of books and this location where all the books is available. We have another database called Vidwan, where profiles of scientists and professor is available for other people to use and to network with amongst themselves for collaborative research. We have a software called SOLE software, which are used for automating libraries in universities and colleges. So, this is one big initiative that we started with way back in 91 and still continuing. Consortium is another very important activity for the INFLIBLENT Center. Consortium basically means that a group of libraries come together to subscribe to e-resources for every one of them. As you know that when you buy things in bulk, it is cheaper. So, we buy e-books, e-journal and e-databases for group of universities. In our kitty, we have about 220 universities, 4,000 colleges, in fact, many more colleges, but right now 4,000 and 65 centrally funded institution. So, consortium, we have UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, which is for university, about 220 of them, and NLIST Consortium, which is about 4,000 plus colleges are being served, and Indus AICT Consortium, which was funded by MHRD. And now, these three consortium, namely Indus AICT, NLIST and UGC Infonet consortium have merged to form a single consortium called eShod Sindhu. I have already talked about this consortium or the consortium activities of INFLIBLENT Center in part 2 of my lecture. The third important activity of INFLIBLENT Center is open access, which we are taking up in the part 3, which is currently going on, where we have 4 major initiatives. One is Shodh Ganga, where we provide access to more than 1 lakh open access thesis thesis into through our repository called Shodh Ganga. About 245 universities are contributing to it. We have another initiative called Shodh Gangotri, where approved synopses of thesis are available in the repository. The idea is that the duplication of research is avoided. About 3,000 synopses are available in this. Then we have OJAS, that is Open Access Journal System, where we provide a platform to faculty and students in universities to start their own open access journals, where the print copy can continue to be given, but electronic copies are available through our website. We have some more open access initiatives which include institutional repository at INFLIBLENT Center, where faculty publications of INFLIBLENT Center, proceedings of caliber, proceedings of planner, the articles appear in them are given in the institution repository, and it is available in open access to everyone. It is used very extensively. In addition, we also have InfoPort, which is basically linked to important Indian resources, scholarly resources available in India. It is basically a portal which provide link to important resources. We also have ICSSR data repository, which provides open access to data generated by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The unit data is available in open access to everybody. There are about 135 sets of data that is available. So, I will be talking about data, it is important, and its open availability. Beside that, we have e-learning projects. E-learning projects where we develop content under a project called EPG Pathshala, where contents are being developed in 77 subjects for at PG level. These content, the subject include every subject one can think of being taught in university, including library and information science, where we have more than 500 modules available across various papers offered in library and information science. Likewise, there are other 77 subjects including chemistry, physics, earth sciences, every subject that are taught in universities are covered. We have another project called e-Acharya, where content that are generated or content that are created with funding from National Mission on Education through ICT is made available through a single platform, which basically means that content generated in EPG Pathshala, content generated under NPTEL, content generated by CEC for undergraduate level, they are all bundled together and made available through a single platform. So, when you make a search, you find a content coming from NPTEL, another from EPG Pathshala, and yet another from CEC. So, it is a basically integrated e-content portal for every content that are funded by government, especially NME-ICT. We have another project on university profiles and university ranking, where we help government to rank university under National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF. In 2016 rankings have already come, and we are now preparing for 2017 rankings. So, I will be talking about more details about all these aspects. Right now, we will be covering on open access initiatives as well as e-learning. So, in nutshell, in part 1 we covered library automation, then Union Catalog and Vidwan database. In part 2 we covered library consortium, and part 3 will be covering open access and e-learning initiatives of INFLIBLENT Center. Like I mentioned, Shodh Ganga is our one major project, where we have signed up with 250 universities to deposit their thesis into our repository, and they are made available open access. If you can see that in the screenshot, there are close to 1 lakh theses that are already deposited in the repository. 3,485 synopses are available through Shodh Gangotri. Then we have about 261 universities are contributing to the repository. and 280 universities have signed MOU. And now, there are benefits that we pass on to the universities for signing MOU with us. These benefits are of three kinds. One is that we provide them funds to set up electronic thesis lab in their institution, which basically means that they create an infrastructure with PCs, where people are able to cut their thesis down into different chapters and add some more flavors to it. Basically, when you submit a thesis in electronic format, you can do things which you have not been able to do in print format. For example, you can upload your data sets, you can upload your video files, you can upload your multimedia files, animation files, or anything that are relevant to your thesis can be uploaded in addition. So, basically electronic ETD funds for creating a lab is provided, so that these kind of additional inputs can be facilitated to the students. We also provide funds for digitization of backlist of thesis. That basically means while current theses are already available in electronic format, that can be uploaded, but the older thesis can be digitized and put into the repository. So, these funds are provided to the universities. About 70 universities have already received these funds, and many of them have already digitized backlist of thesis and put it into the repository. We also provide access to anti-plagiarism software or plagiarism detection software to university. About 140 universities are getting access to anti-plagiarism package. Then the package that we provide is called Orkund. So, a student is required to subject his thesis to anti-plagiarism package, check the report, make corrective measures, and only corrected thesis which is not plagiarized is deposited into Shodh-Ganga. So, these are the three initiatives that we three incentives that we provide to university. Beside, you can see that number of signatory to MOU with on Shodh-Ganga with INFLIBLENT has increased dramatically. The repository has grown from meager 5 theses in 2010 to almost 1 lakh theses now, and it is growing because the university can upload their thesis directly into the repository from their university itself. So, there is nothing in between. In fact, we have assigned this job to Shodh-Ganga coordinators, which have been appointed for every university. So, this task is going on and repository is going. We have taken proactive action. We write to universities for ensuring that all their theses are deposited into the repository, and we have also approached IITs, IISc Bangalore, ICER, NICERS and other institutions that they can also put their thesis into our repository and contribute to this national initiatives. We follow up with the universities, we follow up with the CFTIs. Universities are encouraged to deposit their thesis directly, even students are encouraged to do so. And we have issued policy guidelines to every university as to how to handle plagiarism. So, this is something in addition that we have done. Now, coming to Shodh Gangotri. Shodh Gangotri, as I mentioned, that in a research process, you are first registered for your PhD, and for registration you have to submit a thesis, submit a synopsis. So, this approved synopsis is deposited in Shodh Gangotri. The idea is that the student, before taking a topic, should check onto Shodh Gangotri and see that the topic that he has in mind is already not taken by anybody. If he has taken, somebody has taken, then he should take some other topic, so that duplication of research is avoided. So, basic idea of this Shodh Gangotri is to avoid duplication of research. Once the complete thesis is written, the thesis is submitted into Shodh Ganga, and there is a link given between Shodh Gangotri and Shodh Ganga. Of course, it is a long process because both the initiatives were started comparatively only 5 years history. So, this would take time that every synopsis get converted into a thesis. So, now coming to the third initiative, institution repository at INFLIBLENT Center, where we basically every article that is written by our scientists and faculty are deposited into the repository, and every article that is published in our conference proceeding called Caliber and Planner, that happens biannually, also get deposited into it. So, you have about in this repository we have about 1,300 articles are available that were published either in Caliber or in Planner or that are written by our faculty. So, they are all available here. People can freely search them and locate and download. Beside that, we also put our training material into the repository for easy access to everybody. OJS, like I mentioned, is Open Journal Access System. It is a platform built on open source software called OJS, again Open Journal System, and this platform basically invite faculty and students in colleges and universities to start their own open access journals. These open access journals, basically we create a login ID and password for them, their account, and that account is handled directly by the editor of the journals. So, he can upload the content, he can upload e-issue, electronic issue of the content, he can invite articles, he can edit them online. So, the entire process is controlled by OJS system, which is hosted at our platform, and the control is available to the respective editor of the journals. So, right now we have about 18 journals. We get lot of requests for new journals, which we review. We only accept journals that are peer reviewed, that are standard, and that come at a regular frequency. So, right now 18 journals are available, but the repository is going. We are of course very careful about selecting journals. We do not want to select substandard journals. So, this is our condition, otherwise it is a completely free of cost service. Info portal is a portal that basically provides links to electronic resources born in India, available in India, and it is basically a link that is given to. So, we have divided the repository in 10 major subject heading according to DGC, and you can look for resources. We also have an interface where people can contribute their links. They can say important link that they think are important to the student community, they can submit and we publish it on Infoport platform. ICSR data service, like I mentioned, this is a repository with distinction. It publishes data. What you look into journals and books is articles. Generally, whenever a research is conducted, the data is behind it. So, you analyze data and the result of the analysis is published as an article. Now, if you want to look at the data again, there is no way you can do that, but this data repository allow you to put your data that which other people can look at and see whether your interpretation was correct, or they can also give a new interpretation to the same data. For example, look at the population data. The population data, if it is freely available to everybody to download and analyze, you will get lots of different kind of interpretation to the data. So, this is what ICSR data repository does. It publishes the data of surveys conducted by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. There are about 135 data sets that are available for various disciplines, which include expenditure on education, which include consumers product, which include industry surveys. So, all kind of surveys that are available are published. Unit level data is published here. People can search that data, download that data and bring their own interpretation to the data. So, this repository allows people to of course, as you know that when it comes to institution repository, we have software like DSpace, ePrints, Fedora. When it comes to data, you also have number of options like the option is CCAN, DCAN, NADA. This repository is based on NADA open source software, which we have used, and the 135 sets are published, which include NSS data sets as well as ASI data sets. So, National Sample Survey and industry survey, annual survey of industry. They are all published into this. Right now 33 data sets are available, but we are uploading all other data sets also. So, of course, one have to treat the data unlike an article that has written purposely for a journal with a structure starting with introduction, interpretation, results, analysis, discussions. Data has to be treated. You have to see that labels are correct, and then it is understandable by other. Every data should have basically it should have a documentation, it should have a study description, data description, and of course, one should be able to download the data. So, what we have also done is we have done made an online data analysis tool, which you can use for analyzing the data online. So, you can analyze, you can visualize as a bar, as a chart, as a pie diagram. So, those kind of facilities we have given. You can see that the data sets and some other like the kind of data sets and the interpretation that are there. So, you can select a data set, look at the interpretation, but you can also at the same time download it. Download in Excel file, download in SPSS or various formats and analyze offline also. So, you have an option to analyze them online, you have an option to analyze them offline. So, this was about our open access initiatives. I will be now talking about e-content and e-learning initiatives taken by INFLIBLENT Center. EPG Pathshala, like in my gist I mentioned, we have a platform where contents are being created in 77 subject. Library and information science is one of the subject where we have created more than 500 modules, and all of them are available in EPG Pathshala. So, right now like I mentioned, we have out of 69 out of 77, 69 subjects are available, 843 papers, 10,000 e-texts are available, 5,700 videos, 20,000 self-assessment and 10,000 learn more exercises. Another project that we have is called e-Acharya, which is integrated e-content portal for all content created under NME-ICT, that is National Mission on Education through ICT. So, all content created under EPG Pathshala, under NPTEL, under CEC and under other 55 projects are being integrated and brought into one single platform. So, this platform is available where all contents are available. We acquire content, we process content, we analyze content, and we see that every content has 4 modules, 4 what is called quadrants, which was called e-text, video, self-assessment and learn more. So, all the components are separated and made accessible too. We assign metadata, where standard metadata from Library of Congress subject head is assigned, and they are divided into 5 major subject categories, which is made accessible. And then of course, the technology used in any database is there is a front end and back end. Here we use front end is PHP and back end is MongoDB, which is one of kind of a database management system that we use. Search techniques is Apache Solr, and of course, other HTML, CSS, JS query, they are being used. So, the source of the project, like I mentioned, is from 55 subjects, and the total volume that is available is 12,709 e-text, 28,538 videos, 20,000 self-assessment and 5,181 learn more are available in it. So, right now project is almost at completion stage. Search and browse interface is available, metadata is assigned and project management. You can see the screenshot, you can see the subject, major subject headings, you can see the search retrieval and the faceted search results are displayed in the screenshot. And now MOOC is yet another interpretation where we are converting this e-content into MOOCs. So, library and information in MOOCs is being done by us. So, friends, in this module we have talked about open access initiatives as well as e-learning modules. In open access initiatives we had we had talked about Shodh Gangotri, OJAS and IR at INFLIBLENT, and in e-learning we talked about E-Acharya, EPG Pathshala and about MOOCs. So, thanks for patiently listening to this module. Thank you.